What is Ma- what is Malachi Thomas like? Both as a player, but also off the field, because he's a freshman, and
Right.
I'm interested to get your take on it as somebody who's been here a while.
On the field, I really respect him because he's a young guy, but he listens, and that's really the key when you're a young guy coming in. It's hard to play. For one, it's hard to play at this level. Period. Whether you're a young guy, old guy, but especially as a young guy, the only way you're really gonna get on that field is if you listen to the coaches and do everything they ask you to do. And it's the same for those older guys. If we tell you do this way or do this a certain way, your best bet is to listen. We've been doing this for some time now, so he's a guy that's, he listens, doesn't talk much. He has zero ego. That's what I like the most about him. It's nothing worse than a young guy that has an ego because of what he did in high school. But he's not like that. So I really like that about him. So on the field, he's a go-getter. He's a dog. He does everything that's asked of him. Off the field, I feel like I've said two words to him, which is, "What's up, Malachi?" Hey, man, what's up? Like, he's real quiet. That's literally how he is. Hey, man, what's up? Like, I barely hear him talk off the field. He's a quiet guy, so we haven't really hung out or anything like that yet. But yeah.
You and all the other offensive linemen that have come in here over the past few weeks, especially early in the season, mentioned the importance of running the ball. Against Syracuse, you guys did that. Against Georgia Tech, you guys did that again on Saturday. How much do you think that has opened everything up, and how impressed have you been with your unit's ability to open up those holes and open up the running lanes for Malachi and Raheem?
It's opened up things quite a bit, and I feel like it especially showed this past weekend against Georgia Tech. When you run the ball really really well, it brings defenders down into the box, and when that happens, that's when you're able to run RPOs and those type of things. So that's actually pretty cool. It opens, you're able to run that ball, and it open things up for guys like Caleb Smith and Trey Turner and Tavion. So it gets the ball in those guys' hands, and when they get the ball in their hand, they're very elusive with it. So it's pretty cool. It opens it up for them. And it's the same way as if we can pass the ball, it gets defenders out of the box, and then we're able to run it more. So it just feels really really good to be able to run the ball.
You guys had lost three in a row. You get back on the right path. How important was it to get over the hump, and what was the mood in the locker room like after the game?
Man, I'm sorry. I wouldn't say over the hump. We didn't, it ain't like we got
Well,
over.
get back on the right track.
Exactly. A lot more football to play, but yeah, it felt good to get a W after a while. Like you said, we lost three straight. It it hurt. It hurt. It definitely hurt to lose those three back to back to back. But that win felt really good to get with my guys. Coach Fuente was definitely happy about it. We were happy as a team about it. We understood what we did wrong, same way we understood what we did right, and of course, we have to correct those things. But it felt really good to get a W, and hopefully, we can capitalize off that as well.
What do you notice about Boston College's defensive line?
They're they're really strong guys up front, and I even remember that from last year because they pretty much have the same front, I believe, and they're strong guys up front. They move well. They're not gonna stay blocked long. I mean, sometimes you get on guys and guys are trying to read the block and or read where the ball is going, and they're getting driven back. But not these guys. They can shake off a block really really well. So they're not gonna stay blocked or let you block them. You have to like put in the work to actually, get that D line move. So it's gonna definitely be a challenge for us as an offensive line unit this week. But we're up for it.
All right, let's go to Zoom. We've got Aaron McFarland.
Hey, Lecitus. You guys as a whole have done a great job this year of not committing penalties. And I think you have only three this year yourself the whole season. What goes into that? I mean, Justin Puente mentioned that you guys get a little bit of information about what kind of crew you got and, what might be let go and things like that. But I'm curious how you adjust accordingly during games.
I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on what you said in the beginning. I got three penalties on the season. Dang, I thought I only had like one.
That's what one of these websites that tracks that kind of stuff. But you don't think that's inaccurate?
Dang, I mean, it may be right, but I really wish it weren't. I'm gonna check on that today because I thought I had one. I think I got like one holding call that really wasn't a holding. But I mean, you know how the ref says. But no, I mean, we know we have to be dialed in on that field. You got guys that are gonna talk smack, try to throw you off your game, or you got D lines that are gonna, make a move call at the last second when they see the clap about to come, so we can jump. And I mean, we fell for it a little bit last week, trying to jump that clap, even. So, we know we have to be dialed in mentally. We can't, no matter what the defense is saying. Sometimes you do have guys out there barking. We can't move off that. We have to only listen for the clap. So we just have to be dialed in mentally. We did have a few false starts in this past game, but we buckled down and got it fixed, got it corrected.
Trey Turner said something interesting on Saturday after the game. He said, "Look, four losses in a row would have been hard as a leader to keep saying the same things to the guy and have them listen."
Right.
Did you feel like you were kind of getting close to that point where people might tune you out if you didn't get that win?
Yes. I'm not gonna say specifically of that win right there. Of that game. I'm sorry. But yeah, it does get tough when you lose three straight, like three in a row, and then you got to keep preaching. Guys, stay dialed in, stay locked in. We're gonna keep moving forward. We got to get right this week. We gotta. It gets tiring. It does. When you're losing, consistently like that. I'm sorry. It gets tough to just keep preaching the same thing, and for those guys to just keep listening to you. So I mean, but guys definitely heard what we said. Us older guys preaching to the young guys, they definitely heard what we said, because we had some young guys go out there ball and hang their head high. So nobody's down and out, or nobody's done with the season yet, or anything like that. So that's a great thing about it. Those guys are listening and hearing what we're saying.
Yeah, and last one for me, but yeah, Fuente keeps talking about how proud he is of you guys for continuing to stay in the fight, right? I would imagine as a leader, there's a similar sense of pride in that too, right? Even if the results haven't always gone the way you wanted it to, the way that people have responded to things you've said, I'm sure you feel pretty good about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most definitely. I mean, I feel pretty good about the locker room as a whole. My guys, this team as a whole. It hasn't been just, a smooth sail for us or anything like that. Of course, we're not undefeated or anything like that. It hasn't all been easy. There's been quite a few bumps in the road. But like I said, as a unit, we're all still here. We're still pulling along. There's, everybody was upset about those 3 wins, and the 4 that we had on the season period. Everybody was upset. Everybody hung their head just a little bit, but knowing that we have to flip the switch quick because we have a game next week. So that's what I applaud guys on the most. It's like, okay, we lost last week. Once we show up that Sunday, win or lose, Coach Fuente always preaches about. Once we're done with this team meeting, it's time to go out here and practice. It's time to flip the switch. No matter who we just beat or who we just lost to or who we have next week, win or loss, it's time to flip the switch. So I'm glad he preaches that. It keeps guys from living in the past, whether good or bad. So yeah, we just keep preaching, keep your head up high. Let's keep trucking. Let's keep moving along, and guys are listening. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
David Teal.
Lecitus, because of injury, you guys have had to adjust on the fly quite a bit this season. Obviously, Saturday, no Luke Tenuta, so more adjustments. How would you assess how the line coped with those adjustments on Saturday? The statistics would indicate that you did it pretty darn well.
Yes, sir. It definitely sucks to have a guy like Luke Tenuta go down. I mean, not only is he a really good player on the field, but he's a good leader in that O-line room as well. And I mean, he still leads. Don't get me wrong, he's not playing, but he's still coaching the young guys up and making sure the next man up is ready to go. But as far as how we've adjusted, I feel like we've adjusted pretty well. We had Silas Janzi step up and do a wonderful job in this game, even in the game last weekend and in this past weekend. I feel like he did a really good job, and playing beside me, and I make sure I communicate to him a whole lot, so he's not unsure about anything. But I feel like he definitely stepped up, and he has some big shoes to fill, but he's filling it. He's doing what he has to do.
And then what about the young guy Parker on the other side?
Parker's doing his thing. He's holding it down. He's doing his thing. When him being a young guy, I seen there was outside talk about I don't know how it's gonna look. Parker hasn't played and he hasn't done this, But, I mean, we had confidence in him in that O-line room, and he's definitely going out there doing his job day in and day out, showing up to practice, ready to go, and it's showing on the field. He's doing his job. He's getting things going. Him and Caden both. Him and Caden both on that right side. They're doing the job and making it work.
All right, we've got Ken from Atlanta.
Hey, Lecitus. Couple questions. One, did you notice anything about the footing on the field at Georgia Tech? It being a little loose or not ideal?
No, not really. I didn't notice anything different, unusual about the field, or that it felt any different than any other field we played on. I mean, it was wet out there, but it wasn't like I was slipping and sliding all over the place, and I don't think any of the other guys were complaining about that as well. So, from my opinion, I didn't notice anything different.
Okay. And then second, how would you describe Georgia Tech's difference when they went to a 4-man front? Just how they played differently?
They initially, of course, came out in that odd front, and we were running the ball pretty well. So I believe that's when they came with the 4-2 box,
Right.
And I believe it was to stop the run. But I mean, and the D line is pretty good, but we were able to hold it down, and we're used to even front, So we work on a good bit of odd when we know we're going to face an odd front team. But we're used to even, so it's not nothing unusual. Even if they line up in an odd front and then they bark and jump into an even front right before the ball is snapped, we can adjust on the fly. Brock will make his calls really fast, or I'll communicate the solids really fast. And even if we don't or we can't because it's right before the ball is snapped, we all we're coached to have our eyes up and see what's happening, see where the linebackers are moving, see where the D lineman, if a D lineman shift from a shade to a 2 or a 3, So they shifted to stop the run, but we were able to handle that because we're well coached on that. Coach Rice does a great job at coaching us on that.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Lecitus.
Thank you.